Why estate agents shouldn't be afraid of house price falls. Today I'm joined by Richard Rawlings, estate agency guru, and we're here to talk about what's happening in the UK property market in the summer of 2024. We're filming this in late April, early May, and this should be coming out sometime in early June. Richard, where do you think we are in the property market?
Well, it's really interesting, Chris, and you're the big statistician. I love the stuff that you do, and you know, if agents are not subscribing to your WhatsApp, that every week, but I get on my phone. My wife said, "What's going on?" Ping, 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 ping. I get it's all at the same time, but these fantastic visual graphs that give me some really interesting insights about what's happening in the market. And unusually, they're kind of weekly, aren't they? They say what's happening this week in relation to what happened this week last year, which in some ways perhaps can be distorting because it's only a snapshot. You can get a spike
Yes.
or a dip, you know, and it's the wider the time period, of course, the more even the trends.
And we do year to date as well, just to give some balance.
Indeed. So, and it's really interesting, and you look at, and there are so many, it's really confusing, not Chris's stuff, but it's really confusing generally because there are so many avenues to research your stats. You can go to the land registry, but you think of that, those are at least 6 months out of date, but it reflects a time when the sale was put together, and then it's got to get to exchange and fall through and whatever. So it's way out of date, and then by the time it's been registered. And so I don't think we can really look at the land registry and say that is a snapshot of what's happening now. And when I say now, I mean this week, really important to look at what is happening right now. And so it can be confusing to look at, for example, the annual house price movement can be up, let's say, but the monthly can be down,
yes,
and vice versa. And so we've got to be very careful. I mean, in a way, when it comes to discussing it with clients, you pick the stat that proves your point, really, and use it to your advantage. Oh, market's flying this week, market's up on last year, whatever it happens to be. But I think, and far from me to say what the market's going to do. I mean, nobody can predict it. Who on earth could have predicted what was going to happen during COVID? I mean, nobody in their right mind would say the market was going to fly during a pandemic. So we're all right and we're all wrong. Just pick your day, really. But I think it appears to me that we are in, and we may not even feel it yet, we're in a falling market, I suspect.
What's falling?
That's another point. We're not interested in house prices. We're interested in transactions.
I agree.
From an agent's point of view, we don't care what happens. In fact, I think if the market is planning to fall, and I'm only doing that on the basis of an increase in the number of properties available for sale. And that's one way of gauging it. And in fact, in the US, they're quite good on monitoring the market, and they look at the absorption ratio. So they say, well, how many are on the market and what proportion of that has sold this month? And then they can spot a trend. And I suspect the trend of that is that because there's more coming to market, sales are quite healthy because there's more on the market, but I suspect the trend is slightly widening, that actually the relationship between sales and properties and listings is widening. And that suggests
it is widening. Yeah. I've just done some stats going back to 2019, and we've indexed them back to 100, looking at stock levels versus sales levels, and the gap is widening.
This is going to be the perfect index. This is the one. You found it. This is the one. And so we can spot trends going forwards then, because we can just see what's happening with that trend. And if that's widening, therefore there's more stock in relation to sales. Even if the volumes are greater, the relationship between the two.
What is particularly interesting, Richard, is the number of withdrawals. It's kind of scary at the moment. That's holding. Yeah. That's quite good news for house prices. But you know, back in 2008, when both of us had dark hair, is that there was a lot of properties not so much withdrawing, but now the withdrawal rates are scary.
Yeah. That's indicative, isn't it, of properties not selling as quickly as people were hoping they were going to sell. So there's more on now, it might moderate the market, as you say, but if there's more on the market, so effectively we should foresee a fall in prices. Now that doesn't happen by itself, it happens with our help in a way, because how do we make a property sell if it hasn't sold? We encourage the seller to reduce the price. And I think we have a responsibility here. Now we are not the market, but we are involved in the market. We are related, involved.
We're the gatekeepers.
Yeah. So when the market was absolutely flying and prices were rising, we weren't causing them to rise. They wouldn't have risen if the conditions weren't right, mortgage rates and demand and this sort of thing. But we were there when it happened, and we enabled it to happen. In the same way, it is our responsibility to enable it to fall as well. Because our responsibility is not to get the very highest price the market will pay, but to help people move. Real people wanting to move house get stuck because some agents told them they'll get this price. And that agent is not helping them move, they're just quoting a stupid price.
Because they want the listing.
Because they want the listing.
Because they want everyone to love them.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming back to that point again. Yeah. So we are acting irresponsibly by just telling people what they want to hear. Whereas
could we be affecting the market in a bad way, therefore, because of our need to be loved and wanting the listing, we're actually holding people back and indirectly
we are holding people back.
Ruining the market?
Well, the market will be what the market will be. It's just how soon we choose to get involved. And we'll do ourselves some favours because we'll do more sales and we will lose less of our instructions to a competitor because we're actually selling stuff. But this mindset, we've got to get the highest price the market will pay, blah, blah, blah. No, we've got to help people move. How are we going to do that? Quote the right price. And your reputation hangs on you quoting the right price because then you've got happy clients.
I mean, it scares me that, at the moment, we're only exchanging contracts on 52.8% of homes that we list. I mean, that's awful, isn't it?
So we're failing half the time. And
it's black or red, isn't it?
Absolutely. And again, that comes down to lack of training because agents are not able to persuade a client to quote the right price that they know is the right price. They're telling the client to what they want, what the client wants to hear, and they're coming away with an unsaleable instruction that will cost them dear. They may not get the sale 50% of the time, or they lose it to a competitor who says, "Oh, it's too expensive," and the seller says, "Yes, I thought it might be," and they reduce the price. The competitor gets the board up. The competitor gets the sale. It's stupid. Too many agents they just go in at stupid pricing.
So basically, estate agents shouldn't be afraid of house price drops.
Not at all.
And they shouldn't be overvaluing. And ultimately, they will earn more money because they're helping more people move and the homeowners will move.
We need to help the market fall. How about that for a headline?
Indeed. Thank you for your time today.